The coup in DC endangers people with disabilities, people with chronic illnesses, seniors, college students, and every other American. We should be scared. I'm Annette Bourbonnier from Nothing Without Us, Stories and Discussions of Meaningful Inclusion. I want to remind you that this podcast is captioned, and I am a 70-ish-year-old woman with short gray hair, and I'm sitting in a power wheelchair. Just so you know who I am coming up on my 1-year anniversary, and I'm asking people to please subscribe. Even the free subscription really helps me. So you can subscribe on patreon.com. Tell your friends, patreon.com/nothingwithoutus. The more people that do this, I really would like 100 members by the 1-year anniversary. Drop me a like, give me some comments. I'm always willing to listen, and I do read them all. So what the current president and his cronies are doing would be criminal in any other situation. This is a far more dangerous coup than even the January 6th insurrection. It's going to do more danger to this country, more damage to this country, and damage to almost everybody in it. So while many have highlighted the problems and the illegality of what's going on, no one else has yet emphasized how this is going to impact people with disabilities, people with chronic illnesses, and seniors. If Medicaid is cut, many people in this population will have no access to health care, no access to necessary medications, no access to mobility assistance of any sort. Eliminating these things will prevent people from being able to survive. In fact, for many, losing Medicaid could mean a premature death. Insulin, chemotherapy, and all the other pharmaceuticals will be unavailable to save the lives of those of us with disabilities and chronic illnesses. Likewise, the effects of eliminating SNAP benefits can and will disproportionately impact people with disabilities, people with chronic illnesses, and seniors whose income is already so low. How will they all get food? We're not talking about a healthy working population here. What did we do to deserve a death sentence? The problems don't stop there, though. While the status of healthcare in the US has been declining over the last 30 or so years, the big shining light of what we do, the thing that we do so very well, has been the research on disease, injury, and poverty. If NIH funding is eliminated or reduced, our healthcare in this country will be less than what is provided in the poorest countries in the world. This break-in has not only put NIH research on hold, but it has taken down the important information on that site and on the CDC website that physicians rely on every day to help their patients. Problems with cutting research funding go even further than that direct effect. Research universities that provide necessary research in many areas use the income generated through this research to help support the education of their students, subsidizing the all too high cost of higher education. Research that is conducted at one university will often affect research efforts by other universities as well. One example of that is the University of Alabama, Birmingham. That university houses the National Spinal Cord Injury Statistical Center, which provides data to other universities and organizations doing research in spinal cord injury. Likewise, the Center for Research on Disability at the University of New Hampshire provides statistical data used in research on disability issues all over the country. We should not be forced to lose that resource. Research and engineering brings new technology in the environment. makes our world healthier, the blue economy, and all other areas impact people with disabilities as well as everyone else. Why are we taking away the best thing that we do? Why do they want to destroy it? Research has shown that countries that provide education and healthcare to their citizens have stronger and faster growing economies than those that do not. So why does the current administration of this country want to destroy both healthcare and education? Where does this make sense? Unless he's trying to destroy the country and just make us a blob, an empty space with no people. Besides these funding cuts, though, we have unelected, unconfirmed, unvetted, and unfettered personnel copying our personal data, including the source code to our bank account. I mean, the country's bank account. I'm sure they've got all our bank account numbers too, but they have the source code to the country's bank account. There are laws made to protect our personal health data and our personal financial data. Copying them onto outside servers is not only a breach of the protections of law, but once off the protected servers, there is no control over what happens to the data. Don't we have enough problem with data breaches? This will make us more vulnerable to identity theft, discrimination, unfair labor practices, and unfair business practices, just to begin with. The list will go on forever. We should be afraid. We should be very afraid. There is nothing good that can come from this. I know people voted for him because of his promises to lower costs, but he is doing anything but. Unfortunately, he managed to get the Supreme Court to put its stamp of approval on this before he even was elected by ruling that presidents have absolute immunity. Boy, what a disaster that was. I thought it was absurd when he got that ruling, but now I'm terrified. So let's hope that the lawsuits and court orders that are the results of these lawsuits, right now will stall and stop this craziness, stop this process before it's too late. We should let our congressional delegations know what we want. Thank them for supporting us here in Rhode Island. They have been very helpful here. Or urge them to find the spine to oppose what is happening in this administration. I know many have been threatened with being primaried by well-financed opponents. Yes, there is enough money backing that threat to do it, but are there enough people willing to sell their constituents out to be those opponents? I hope not. I really hope not. We need to let those who are unwilling to stand up to the threats this country is facing, that we will never back them again. If they cannot do what's right, what is good for their constituents, then they should not be elected. Perhaps with threats on both sides, they will find their way to doing what's right. The Rhode Island congressional delegation, federal judges, the Attorney General, and others are taking a stand and supporting their constituents. Many others are as well. Maybe highlighting that will help the others move in a positive direction as well. We can only hope. So thank you for listening. I'm Annette from Nothing Without Us, stories and discussions of meaningful inclusion. If you like what I'm talking about here, please leave me a like. Please subscribe. Please leave me a like. Tell your friends. They can find me on patreon.com/nothingwithoutus. I can also be found on YouTube, and where this is also going to be on Spotify and all your other audio platforms. And you can find me on LinkedIn and Blue Sky. So till the next Nothing Without Us, I'm Annette. I'm Annette from Nothing Without Us. We're coming up on our 1-year anniversary. And I would really love to have 100 members by then. It would really mean a lot to me. So please subscribe. The free subscriptions are available. And just also click on a like, give me some comments. Tell me who you want to hear from. Tell me what you want to hear. Tell your friends. Friends can find me on patreon.com/nothingwithout us, just like you did. They can find me on YouTube, Spotify, and all your favorite audio platforms. And if you want a paid subscription, you might be able to find my sub-series, which is Bitch on Wheels. And that can be a bit edgier, a little sarcastic, sometimes funny, but I'm posting regularly on there too. So until the next Nothing Without Us, I'm Annette.